Welcome to Home Tech Decisions. In today's episode, we're going to be comparing Eufy and Arlo, both the doorbells and the camera. So in case you're wanting to do your entire home, put in cameras and put in a doorbell, we're going to be kind of going on a point system to see what these companies have to offer versus what the other company has to offer. But then you also have to take into consideration whatever your situation may be, whether you're in a townhouse or whether you're in a house, if you want something for like a cabin. We have points for all of these. So Brandon's going to kick it off. He's going to talk about Arlo, and I'm going to talk about Eufy.
All right. So Arlo has really been known for being like the luxury brand for wireless camera systems. They have both the battery-powered ones, and then you can also add in like a solar charger, or you can like clip the wire in and keep it continuously charged as well. So the doorbell here, as we talked about in a previous episode, retails for $145, and then the Ultra, which is the camera that we've tested. So for a kit with two of these, it's going to be $580, including the base station. The box I have here is just one camera and the base station, but since the Eufy came with two cameras, we wanted to make apples-to-apples comparison. So the retail price on that would be $580.
So the retail price for this with the two cameras and the base station is $350. So pretty comparable.
Yeah, that'd be $200 cheaper to go with the Eufy. And then the doorbell is $169. So the doorbell is pretty comparable, but like the camera itself with the base station, I think Eufy is a more affordable option, and that's kind of what they're known for, and often compared to Arlo against. So as far as the quality goes, though, the Arlo Ultra does record in 4K, as does the doorbell here. That's recording locally to 4K. You can also record to the cloud on 4K for an additional fee.
So that is a point for Arlo. Eufy does only record in 2K. Both the doorbell and the security cameras do only record in 2K, excuse me. But this has facial recognition, which is outstanding. On the app, you can see, kind of who's there, who's been, around, especially with the doorbell and the cameras. And so that's a huge plus.
Yep, and they can both be used locally. They both have a base station that connects, to your Ethernet there, to your home network. With the Arlo, you're able to change out the micro SD card down here, and then I believe you mentioned with the Eufy, you can plug something in.
There's a USB port, so you could record right to the USB there. So you could put in a 64 gig or a 128 gig, whatever, and you could have it recorded to the USB drive. So that's a pretty unique feature.
Awesome. I always thought that the USB was just there for charging the camera.
No.
But out of the box, it does include 16 gigabytes of storage. So I would say, that's pretty much a tie between the two.
Yeah.
And then as far as the subscription goes, it is $10 a month to record in 2K with the Arlo. You can still record 4K to your locally, and then $15 a month for 4K. And that's with multiple cameras. So we wanted to compare apples to apples, assuming you have the doorbell and then at least two cameras. So you're at three. So it makes sense to go with the package deal.
Exactly. So for the Eufy, it's about $3 a month for the 2K or $10 a month for more storage. And so it is a little cheaper if you wanted that. But like we said, this does have 16 gigs in it, which is about 180 days, depending on what you set your motions to. If you have it in constant record, that's going to chunk that up quite a bit. But 16 gigs is plenty of space for this type of equipment.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to record actual footage from our house with each camera, both saved to our base stations as well as saved to the cloud, and kind of compare them and see how long it takes, to get notifications, and just kind of how we like them overall. And we'll include that footage, just cropped in here with the video.
Yep.
And we'll report back here in a couple weeks. once we have some more footage.
Absolutely. And the one thing I do want to mention about the Eufy is the military grade data security. I know that's a huge thing that people are concerned about, and they have a top-notch data security. And so I am not as concerned about my information or data being hacked when it comes to Eufy.
Yeah, unlike Ring or Wise, Arlo hasn't had any issues either that with any hacking or anything like that. And that is one nice thing about having a local storage, is that if someone stole this camera, well, the footage is still here locally. Or if they you lost internet, it's still saving locally. And so if you had a battery backup, then you certainly would continue to record there, and that would be very helpful.
So if you like this video and you found it very helpful for whatever your journey is taking you, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and then hit that bell notification to receive notifications for when we post new videos twice a week.
And we'll also put links to these products in the description. If you use those links, that does help us out, so we'd really appreciate that. Take care. Here we have the live view of our Arlo camera located outside. You can see 13 minutes ago I was just out there. If I click play, it should connect, and then go to the live view here. You'll notice that you can turn the light on and off. It does indicate the battery level, the signal strength, and that we are recording to a SD card that's in our hub. Let's give it a moment here and see if it goes to the live view. And it does take a moment sometimes to connect. There we go, you can see some construction work is happening outside. Very exciting. And if I want to go view previous days and then see what's going on, you'll notice it's identified the difference between an animal and a person. I came home and let the dog out today, so that was captured correctly here. Let's see.
Welcome back. After about 6 months of testing the Arlo versus Eufy, we are here with our fun features of what we liked about each. Brandon, what did you like about the Arlo?
Yeah, so I like the quality of the Arlo camera. I would say that over other cameras that we've tested, this is definitely a higher quality, 4K. That is when you're recording locally, of course. You can pay extra and get that 4K recording in the cloud. But I just like having the SD card right in here and then accessing it that way. My one big complaint though is the lag time between when I pull up the app on my phone to what's actually going on outside, and that was true for both the camera and the doorbell. One thing I did
piggyback off of that really quick.
Yeah.
This is very different from that. So anytime I would get motion either on the front door or on one of the cameras, like I would get a thumbnail almost immediately on my watch and on my phone to show me exactly, and they would, you know, show the face of who the motion or who set off the motion detector. So this does not have a lot of lag.
That's nice. I'm jealous. Truthfully. So while looking online though, I did determine that part of the issue is because we had this camera up front by our porch and there's not a power source there. So it was running off the battery. And what happens is that it has to upload the footage in order to do like the AI features that we had enabled. So like person detection, area detection. So I really recommend that if you're going to use this camera, have it in an area where there's an outlet nearby so you can just plug in. And that way it's going to do some of that computing right on the camera and it's going to be much more responsive. So I did test it in other areas and it is true. So unfortunately there's not an outlet out front, so it's not going to be a solution for me.
No. And one thing that I did want to mention that I had mentioned before is there are USBs on the home base on these that I thought you could plug in USBs to add extra storage, and that is not the case, I found out.
Yeah, it's just used for charging, but that's okay. The Arlo does have the SD card, which is a nice feature. The cameras have gone on sale since we first started recording. Mm-hmm. Right now, I just looked and it was $450. Which is still going to be a lot more than the Eufy.
Yeah, this is about $350 for the 2 cameras in the base.
Yeah, but it's going to be a little higher quality footage on the Arlo. As far as the doorbell goes, I've had a lot of people asking me about that because we recently released our doorbell episode, and I had gone from the Ring to the Arlo. I would have to say that I would only use the Arlo doorbell if you already have other Arlo cameras, including the base station, and you're paying a subscription. Otherwise, you just don't get a lot of the features, and so it's not really worth it. I think there's better options out there if you're just looking at a doorbell. But if you already are on the Arlo ecosystem and you don't want to have a separate app for your doorbell and you don't want to pay another subscription fee to like Ring or Nest or then certainly the Arlo video doorbell is a good option for you.
Yeah. And the Eufy video doorbell is about $170 on Amazon right now, which is a huge bang for your buck. It is battery operated. I've only had to charge it once in the 6 months that I've been using it, but I had the motion sense or the motion detection sense pretty high, so any little movement would set it off just to use for testing. And then I've now lowered that. And the battery is doing extremely well. So I'm very happy with both the battery operation on both of these products.
Yeah, Eufy has been very impressive as far as like affordable smart home technology. We've done their cameras, we've got their lock on the way, we'll be testing that out. We just finished wrapping up testing with the vacuums, and their Max C or 30C Max is a really nice vacuum. Incredible bang for your buck at like $299. So very impressed with the products that Eufy is putting out. They're actually owned by Anker. It's a company that makes those really good charging stations and battery backups. Now, very, very reputable company.